Hello and welcome to a pre-season FPL waffle video with the first draft coming in for the new season. So let's share the screen and see what I've come up with as an initial sort of set of ideas. So here we go. We've got Pickford in goal, followed by Zinchenko, Estepinian, Shaw, Fernandez, Saka, Odegaard, Matoma, Rashford, and Nkunku, Haaland up top, and then on the bench, Areola, Botman, Baldock, and Muniz of Fulham. So I personally quite like this draft. I will talk you really briefly through each of the players. So Pickford in goal, just Everton have really good fixtures. And I just think Everton the sort of team that, yeah, Pickford's going to have to make lots of saves. He's nailed down. And under Dyche, just defensively, they're a solid team, aren't they? Particularly at home, I'm expecting some clean sheets. Like home to Fulham, you could see a cleaner. Home to Wolves, you could see a cleaner. Away to Sheffield, you could see a cleaner in the opening games. Then even you've got home to Arsenal, like they're not away to Arsenal, they're at home, so it's not too bad. You'd expect some save points in there. Like there isn't really a disastrous fixture until game week 9 away to Liverpool. And again, that's a rivalry. It's a derby. You might, like to see a Pickford rise to the occasion in that, get some saves. They've just got a pretty good run. And like I said, in the harder games, you'd expect saves. In the easier games, hopefully clean sheets. I quite like the idea of a Jordan Pickford, to be honest, 4.5. Then defensively, Estepinian, I think everyone's got him just nailed on for Brighton, attacking only 5 million. We've got some good fixtures to start, particularly the first three. Then it gets a bit more difficult. But at 5 mil, it's not a problem benching him here and there. Luke Shaw, again, nailed on for United. Left back, a bit of attacking threat. Obviously, he'll play centre back sometimes, but mainly left back with Varane and Martinez back in the team. And yeah, they've not got a bad run of fixtures. Home to Wolves, home to Forest, most notably. You're quite keen to have him for at the start of the season. It's not a bad run overall. I just think he's a good player to have. You can't really go wrong with him. Zinchenko is an interesting one because not everyone's gone for him. Most have gone for Gabriel at the back, but I just think Zinchenko he offers potentially more goal threat, at least sort of assist threat. He likes to rampage forward. I like him as almost a bit of a differential, to be honest. They've got great fixtures, Arsenal, to start with. You kind of almost have to have triple up on Arsenal. It's just a case of who. And I do like Zinchenko at left back. Then for the other two, I've got Saka and Odegaard. Saka, I think everyone has to have him. 8.5 is a bargain for their penalty taker, their talisman. And then Odegaard, I've got as my next kind of third Arsenal player. He's just nailed, isn't he? And he's proved last season he can be attacking, goals and assists, bonus points, etc. I just like him for those reasons. And then in the other midfielders, I've got Bruno Fernandez. Now he's on pens. They've got good few fixtures to start off with. He's a good price, 8.5. That's why he's there. I'm a little concerned he might play deep with Mason Mount coming in the team. However, I think Mount's not going to start every match. And yeah, I just think for that price on penalties, he's still going to have a goal threat and assist threat playing deeper when he plays deeper. And if the season starts and he's just looking really poor, we can always switch him out. But I think he's a solid one to start with. You can't go wrong, 90 minutes, etc. And Rashford is the other one. We know what Rashford can do. Again, 9 million is a great price for a player of Rashford's caliber. So no problems with those guys. Matoma, 6.5. Again, I just think he's been underpriced. We've got a great set of fixtures, Brian has discussed before, to start off with at least. And Matoma is probably our most nailed attacker and our most sort of talismanic figure. So really like Matoma. Haaland's obviously don't even need to talk about him, even at 14 mil. Like he's basically a perma captain for the first however many fixtures. You could captain him in the first, what's that, like 7 fixtures and not really be concerned whatsoever about it. So that's just easy. And then in Nkunku, a lot of people have gone Jesus, but in Nkunku, like, I just think he's going to do well at Chelsea, and Chelsea have immaculate fixtures, particularly this run here from game week 3. And I'd already have him in my team, like before other people were trying to scramble to get Chelsea players in for those fixtures. I'd already have a Chelsea man in. I could see him hitting the ground running. I just think, I know some Bundesliga players have flopped coming to the Prem, but I just can't see it in Nkunku. I feel like he's been so good and he's been playing well, Champions League level, league level, like all levels. I think he could be on pens. I just could see him doing well, and I have it was partly a gut feeling with Nkunku and partly their fixtures. I kind of want to go for him. He's 0.5 cheaper than Jesus, and he just works well in my team. I think I've still got the Arsenal coverage, etc. I really like the team, and on the bench, like I've said, Areola. If with Fabianski getting older, if they don't buy another keeper, he could be their starting keeper for 4 mil. So it makes sense to have him on the bench. and he might be useful for the odd game. Botman at 4.5. I've currently got him there, but that is open to change. I have 0.5 mil in the bank for this team. So if I could do quickly on my FPL.team, like first game week, no issues whatsoever with that team. Captain on Haaland, vice on Saka will be the job. And then for game week 2, the only thing I don't like about this is Shaw away to Spurs. I'm almost convinced that United will concede in that. And I could upgrade a Botman to someone like, this isn't obviously game week 2. I'd do this before the season if I wanted to. If Alex Moreno is confirmed fit, I might just like have a cheeky Moreno in there and have him starting at home to Everton for that game. And then come game week 3, I'd have 2 free transfers in the bank. And I can then start to look at the likes of the Chelsea players. Although having said that, you look at this team for game week 3, there's no transfers really needed, to be honest. But at least it will mean if there's an injury, if there's a player not looking too good, I'll have 2 free transfers in the bank to think about, okay, who can I swap for perhaps another Chelsea asset? So I like the look of this setup. And the other 2 players I don't really need to talk about. Baldock, 4 million defender to afford things. And he looks like one of the most likely to play games at that price outside of Bell and Bayer. And then Muniz for Fulham. He's a fairly low owned 4.5 mil attacker. So I probably wouldn't lose money on him. And you never know. Mitrovic got injured. They don't have many other strikers, do they? Vinicius, and then it's Muniz, I think. So he's just there for kind of the third bench territory. And then final thing to talk about before I end the video. The main fixtures, sort of best teams with best fixtures to look out for are Arsenal, Brighton, Everton are fairly good, like I've already mentioned with Pickford. Man City's are incredible, and I haven't talked loads about City. I think these guys are really tricky because the only players that are nailed on for City are Haaland and Edison, and then Grealish to a point. But Grealish doesn't offer the best goal threat, and I don't love him sort of as an FPL option for those sort of reasons. But they are coming in at 7.5 for midfielders, Grealish, Foden, and Mahrez. So I think if you want to punt on one of them, if you're looking at pre-season games, keep an eye on them. If someone like Foden's playing every week and he's looking like he's filling in for maybe De Bruyne's injury or playing on the right, etc., if there's some transfer news that comes in to indicate that he's going to be more likely to play if, say, Mahrez leaves, Bernardo Silva leaves, etc., you might want to look there. But otherwise, but with my draft, like I just feel like you're getting guaranteed minutes and points with these guys, whereas you're not with the City boys, and that's what's put me off them, to be honest. But yeah, definitely worth a look if you want to pump one of them. They could massively pay off if you get the right one. And then yeah, we've mentioned United, not too bad for the first set of games. A kind of player to chuck in the mix. Like I like the idea of a Gibbs White. I just don't love their fixtures. But on penalties, 6 mil midfielder for Forest, I think he could be a good shout this season. If you wanted to have him on your team and you could fit him in with the likes of this game against Sheffield, Burnley, why not? But I think like I've said earlier, there's probably better options in midfield as opposed to him for now. But definitely one to watch as their fixtures get better. And then outside that, there's probably not loads to report. Eze for Palace is another one you could consider as a bit of a differential. And then Brentford's fixtures are pretty good start the season. So someone like Brian and Buemo, probably on pens, pretty nailed, or a defensive player you could go to. And I'm definitely open to considering that. If I wanted to sort of try and make some money to downgrade one of these guys like a Fernandez to Mbuemo, I might be able to have the funds to get up to someone like a Salah or a Trent at the back. So if I wanted to do that, he's the sort of player I'd look at to do that. But yeah, there's some food for thought. Hopefully, yeah, some ideas for you guys watching. Maybe it's probably similar draft to what you've seen already, but with a few differences like Zinchenko and Kunku. I do think I've got sort of some strong reasoning for those guys working well and this team working really nicely as a whole without too many benching sort of headaches either, which is always a plus for me because I hate benching a player that does really well. So yeah, there's some early thoughts. That'll probably do for now for the video. A first draft and some thoughts about the fixtures and stuff for the start of this coming FPL season. The next video for me will probably be in the summer, the week leading up to the first matches, where I'll probably share my final draft of you and any final thoughts about transfers that have come in or any other sort of team news or pre-season insight into who I think could be some good shouts for the start of the season. Like Salah, if Salah and Trent are banging in the pre-season games, their home fixture to Bournemouth game week 2 is hard to look past at the moment. And if they're going into the season looking strong, like, yeah, there might be a few people panicking last minute transfers and stuff. So, yeah, I'll talk about all of that sort of thing a week before the deadline for the first week. But for now, enjoy the summer. Don't spend too long thinking about FPL because this is a wonderful break without it. But hopefully some food for thought if you're having a little bit of tinkering here and there before the season begins. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Have a good few weeks of summer weather, and I'll catch you on the next one.